I always thought betrayal would hit like a storm, loud, violent, and impossible to ignore. You'd see it coming, feel the air change, hear the thunder just before your world shatters. But real betrayal, the kind that truly breaks you, it arrives quietly. It slips into your life like a whisper, disguised as love, wearing the face of someone you trust completely. I was engaged to a man named Daniel for nearly 3 years. He wasn't some fairy tale prince, but he was steady, patient, reliable. He was the kind of person you build a future with. We spent our nights dreaming about a house with a big garden, late night talks in the kitchen while making tea, and the sound of children's laughter echoing through the halls. It was the kind of ordinary, beautiful life you see in movies and think only other people get to have. My family loved him, especially my younger sister Emily. She was always the bright one, the girl who walked into a room and instantly became the center of attention, the one all my friends adored, the one teachers praised endlessly. For my entire life, she was the person everyone compared me to. But even with all that, I never, ever imagined she would be the one to take everything from me. As the wedding day got closer, the stress was constant. There was the planning, the scheduling, the budgeting. It was exhausting, but I was so excited. We'd sent out the invitations, chosen our rings, and even written our vows. There were moments, little flashes, where Daniel seemed distant, distracted, but I just brushed it off. It was just wedding nerves, right? Everyone gets a little scared before making such a huge commitment. That's normal. 2 nights before the ceremony, I stayed at my parents' house to finalize the last-minute details with my family. Daniel stayed at his apartment, telling me he needed some quiet time to practice his speech. I remember going to bed that night with a huge smile on my face, thinking that the next time I closed my eyes in that room, I'd wake up as a bride. But instead, I woke up to pure chaos. My mother was standing in my doorway, shaking, clutching her phone. Her voice trembled as she managed to get out just 2 words. "It's cancelled." Daniel had called her at 4 in the morning. He told her he couldn't go through with the wedding. He gave no explanation, no reason, just that it was over. At first, my mind raced through every possible scenario except the truth. Maybe he had a panic attack. Maybe he was in an accident. Maybe someone in his family had died. Anything, literally anything, was better than what was really happening. But the truth didn't wait long. It arrived just an hour later, when Emily walked into the kitchen. She was still wearing her dress from the night before. Her makeup was smudged, and her hair was a mess. There was something in her eyes, something that was already broken. She didn't even have to say a word. On some deep primal level, my body already knew. But she said it anyway, a single whisper that severed my entire world. "I'm sorry. We didn't mean for this to happen." I couldn't breathe. My ears started ringing, and the whole room began to spin. She explained it all, through shakes and sobs, how they had been seeing each other secretly for months, how they never planned to fall in love, how they didn't want to hurt me, how they tried to stop, but they just couldn't. And then she said the one word that destroyed me. She said it was real. Real. All those nights Daniel was busy working late. All those moments I felt a distance growing between us, but forced myself not to doubt him. All the times my own sister asked me just a few too many questions about him. It was all real. They were real. And I was the only thing that wasn't. The wedding was called off. The beautiful invitations were thrown in the trash. We lost the venue deposit. Guests had to cancel their flights. And then came the whispers, the pitying looks from friends and neighbors. I remember my father punched a wall so hard his knuckles split open. My mother cried like someone had donned in a way. Someone had. The person I was, the future I believed in, it was all gone. I buried myself under my blankets, refusing to see the daylight for days. Grief felt like drowning without any water, like screaming without making a sound. It took weeks before I could even sit up without my hands shaking. It took months before I could walk into a room and not feel this overwhelming sense of shame for something I didn't even do. And then, one afternoon, I saw a post online. It was a picture of my sister and Daniel, holding hands on a beach, smiling. The caption read, "Sometimes love finds you when you least expect it." The comments were filled with hearts and congratulations. People were calling them soulmates, praising their happiness. No one knew what they had destroyed to build that picture-perfect moment. I thought the anger would swallow me whole, but instead, something strange happened. I felt nothing, Jets. A quiet, cold acceptance that some people are born without the ability to love anyone but themselves. Years passed. I heard through the grapevine that they eventually got married, but it was a small wedding. Almost no one attended. I guess no blessing can truly survive on a foundation built from betrayal. Then, just last week, I saw Emily again for the first time since that day. She looked older than her years. There were tired lines around her eyes, her smile seemed forced, and her shoulders were heavy. As if she was carrying a life that didn't quite turn out the way she'd imagined. She whispered to me, "Did you ever hate me, Save?" And I looked at her and said the most honest thing I have ever said in my life. No, I don't feel anything for you anymore. Because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. I walked away without looking back, and for the first time in years, I felt genuinely free. Not free from them, but free from the toxic belief that I wasn't enough. Now, I know the truth. The people who betrayed me didn't ruin my life. They simply removed themselves from it. And in the end, that was the greatest gift they could have ever given me. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.